doing? Are y'all enjoying the day? Yeah. Well, first and foremost, thank you to all the vendors for being here, showing your business off and having such positive energy. It takes a lot for us to just do what we do and build the resources that we have now. So just special shout out to you guys, and special shout out to my business partners, Rasta Free, who are right over there. So just want a huge shout out. They are amazing. So today we are doing a one-on-one discussion with Miss Leah Jones. Okay, Leah Jones is the CEO of Hype Hair Magazine. She is also the founder of Girl Cave LA Beauty Supply. Woo!
Let's go!
Give it up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Leah, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for being present. Relationships are huge for myself and just for us, especially Black entrepreneurs who are looking to build and looking to expand and just build great relationships for longevity. So I just want to say thank you for being present for me and showing up for me. And I'm truly honored. Of course. I appreciate you.
I'm happy to be here.
So let's just get right into it. So, building an authentic brand is a conversation about brand identity, it's about scaling, it's about personal and professional development it takes for building your brand, which makes sense for you. So, I want to dive right into it. The beauty salon you have is called Girl Cave LA. We all know that men have men caves. So, I want to know and they have rules for their men caves. Can you go on your man's men cave?
No. I don't want to though. I'm not trying to
go. So just like they have rules, what is the rules for your Girl Cave?
Okay, so you talk about building an authentic brand. The reason why I started the Girl Cave is because I don't want people to feel like they have to fit into this typical mold of whatever beauty is, right? And so the rule at the Girl Cave is just be yourself, whatever that is. But you gotta be the best version of yourself. So a lot of times people come into our stores and they have questions about, the latest styles like wigs and weaves, but maybe that's not for you, right? So you don't have to fit into a certain mold. You can just be who you are. So yeah, we have girl time at the Girl Cave for sure.
And the thing I love about Girl Cave is it's not your typical beauty supply. Like you're really branding that, you're really branding it and you're showing everything's consistent. You're really putting thought into it and you're collaborating with others and you're really creating messaging. And so that's the thing I really, really absolutely love about
it. It's intentional, right? I don't know if other beauty supply stores are on social media, but when we started, we used social media as the tool. And if you look at our branding, it all is in line. We speak to our customers a certain way. We call our customers our homegirls, right? But even the way we speak to them on social media is unique. And so, yeah, that's really what I built the brand around. Just being authentic, but also being like one-on-one, personal.
And I'm actually glad you said that because, with social media, we tend to only communicate through social media. And a lot of people have lost the way of having conversations in person, and so it can create like social awkwardness or social anxiety, things like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I do have social anxiety sometimes. The pandemic made it a lot worse. But to speak to that, there still has to be a place where you push yourself, right? Because my customers are not gonna engage with me only on social media. We are a touch it, see it, feel it type of product. Everything in the beauty supply store is, and so yes, even though it's outside of my comfort zone to be that way, it's a part of who I am as a business owner, so I have to make myself do it.
Yeah. And I see you. I see you.
And then I hire people that are very good at it, so I don't have to do it all the time, right? Like this is a unique thing for me, but in the stores, maybe I'm not as outgoing, but I make sure I hire girls that love it, and they love to do it, and so it works.
And I think it works because you show up. You show up because we're not a monolith like us, as we're human. There's gonna be days where, we're not feeling it, we're in different seasons, where you may catch me on a good day, this day I may not be okay. So it's okay to, to not
bubbly all the
Yeah, to
time,
be bubbly
on
all the
10
time.
all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Just get through the day.
Yes, but you are showing up, and I see it. You know, I see the growth in you, you know, just from getting to know you more and watching you on social media and the content. Like, girl, you are popping out.
Thank you. I needed to hear that today.
Yes, you popping out and you're glowing. So, with Girl Cave, we all know that having a beauty supply is definitely strategic when it comes to the business model in the beauty industry. What got you into beauty? So, like, why a beauty supply?
So I don't, okay, so it's not complicated. It's not one answer. So when I was younger, I modeled. And I got told no a lot. Like, I'm a brown skinned girl. I don't have like the typical features. And so I always wanted to create like a safe space for girls that kind of felt like me. Like, I know I'm beautiful, but maybe the world doesn't see it like that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the typical look. So I started in the beauty industry because I wanted to create a safe space for myself first. And I think that's why my brand is so successful, because I really did build it for me. And so I started selling hair to other models. That was like my first thing. And then I started with the website, and then I started with the pop-up shop. But it really was for me to connect with other girls that were modeling that maybe didn't feel comfortable about their hair, or you know, got a job and didn't know what to do with their hair for the job. So I was like, oh, perfect, I can sell you hair. So that was like my first segue into it. And then after that, like, I'm a black girl, I grew up in Inglewood. I always wanted to have a business in my neighborhood, and I never really saw people that had businesses in the neighborhood that looked like me. They had great jobs, but I don't know that they were business owners. I didn't see it, and so I wanted a business in my community. So my store literally is 5 minutes away from where I grew up. I grew up on Crenshaw and 77th. My store is on Crenshaw and 109th. So.
Oh, I'm a Crenshaw and King girl.
There you go.
And I love that, you know, that you highlighted that you took steps, because myself, you know, I braided hair for 17 years now, and I went to college for communications, public relations.
I have a degree in social work.
Oh,
It makes no sense.
it makes no sense, but it also does make sense though, because it all goes into the behavioral of people. Because I also did ABA, which is behavioral therapy, and I see working with clients how much it has impacted the experience. But I love that you said you started here, and then you did a little bit of that, and then a little bit of that, and then it led you towards, you know, the beauty supply. But now you are the CEO of Hype Hair Magazine. Okay? Shout out to
It
you.
gives me chills when you say it. Honestly, because I'm like, I grew up on Hype Hair. Like, I remember my mom would give us like a couple dollars. We would go to the 7-Eleven, we got our Hype Hair magazine, and then you like folded down the pages. And then I'll never forget my hairstylist growing up, her name was Cindy. I would go to Cindy like, I want that one, right? So it's part of my black girl nostalgia. So to own the brand now is very like surreal. It's fun though.
But you were already planning and manifesting for it. And I think that when we talk about building an authentic brand, like, we have to really realize that what we dream of and with the little things that happen as we're younger, it ends up manifesting right before our eyes.
Absolutely. And so that's what I feel like Hype Hair was for me. I didn't imagine it in this way, but I did imagine it. I always, like I said, I was a model, so I liked photo shoots. I liked those experiences, and I just didn't know how I could make a living out of it. But I feel like when you are focused and you're kind of very intentional about the things that you like and love, and you find your passion, it finds you too. So that's how, I can't even tell you a story how I ended up owning Hype Hair. It's like a long...
I want to know. You
Yeah.
guys want to know how she got into owning Hype Hair? Okay, so
I did a reality show on the Bravo network called Married to Medicine. And so Hype Hair came in and basically did our press. And so while we were doing these photo shoots with Hype Hair, I was like, who is the owner? And they were like, girl, he don't even want to do this anymore. Like, you should meet him. And so I met him, and I was going to partner with him just to create content. And so we started this journey. I met him, we were working together, and then maybe like a month in, he was like, do you want to buy the magazine? I'm going to put it up for auction. And I said, yeah. So I put in a bid. To be honest with you, I had the lowest bid. I had the least competitive bid of all of the people that bid on Hype Hair. But because I had a relationship with him, he still chose my bid. So. just went into work for them. Then I ended up owning it like 6 months later, which was super weird. But yeah.
It was not weird. You manifested it. You know, like you said. And it's funny because I've been really just incorporating the word and just journaling more and more. And I've been really stuck on that piece, like just feeling unqualified for certain things. But it's like
It's like imposter syndrome at work, right? Because even now, like the magazine, we've gone from, when I first took over it, I think we had like a couple 100,000 like views on average a month. Maybe last year I checked our analytics and we were at like 2.5 million views. And then recently, so we've surpassed the 7-figure mark as far as like impressions and views. And sometimes I'm like, is this a fluke, girl? Like, but it's not. It's really like the work of myself and my team that has done that. So yeah, you just really have to own, when you do good things, you gotta own it. And so I really like take pride in it now. So I don't shy away from it anymore. It's a big
Gave
deal.
yourself authority. You know, giving yourself authority, you have to really step into that. And even if you don't, like you said, I had the least amount, you know, I felt like this, that, but you still had the audacity to go after it.
If you look on my Instagram page, that's my bio. I say the woman with the most audacity in the world. Because who walks into a publisher's office with no publishing experience and says, I want to buy a publication? It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really like...
Leah Jones?
Yeah, right, exactly. It doesn't really match up, but he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time, but now I'm like living it, and so now I'm like rising to the occasion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that like when your goal is to become more in alignment, you know, sometimes your physical doesn't meet your mind, or other, like you said, someone else saw potential when you first, or you did. And I've definitely experienced a lot of that, and so now I feel like I'm like slowly catching up, like, okay, let me get closer to that alignment and step into that, you know? So with Hype Hair Magazine, what were your goals? Like, what did you say, I'm going to take it from this to this as it pertains to messaging and brand identity?
Right, so Hype Hair, before I purchased it, was not owned by a Black person, and so I felt like it had lost its authentic voice. So Hype Hair is the authority in Black hair. Nobody can compete with it. We are the Black publication that has sustained the test of time, 33 years. But there's a language that we as Black women have when we speak to each other. And I felt like Hype Hair had kind of lost that, and it was just a business. It was just a company. So what I did was I made sure I hired Black creatives. I kept my Black publisher. I brought in a Black brand manager because I want it to feel authentic. Like when we're speaking to each other, I don't want it to look like a company is speaking to a subscriber. So that was my first goal, to change the voice. I think we've done a good job with that. My second goal was to increase our viewership, to increase our digital presence, and we've increased that. We're still growing, but I think we've done I give us a B-. I give us a B-. I'm still striving for an A. We're just building it.
Higher achiever.
Yeah, and then the other thing was I wanted to license the name, right? So most Black women across the country know what Hype Hair is, but it's not accessible to them. So what we've done over the last year is we've licensed our name to Conair. So if you go into any Burlington coat factory across the country, all 985 of them, if you go into any Nordstrom's rack across the country, you will see products that are Conair and Hype Hair branded. And I'm not stopping, girl. We're going. But that was the thing. I wanted the name to stay alive. An Instagram page is great and a digital publication is great, but how can people in Houston, Texas, how can people in New York, how can people in smaller states touch, see, and feel the Hype Hair brand? And it was through licensing. So I'm really being strategic as far as how we license the name. And we're working with other bigger brands to bring that licensing name to life. So that's my goal, and we're working through it.
Yeah. Because Girl Cave is now Hype Hair Beauty Supply.
Yeah, we're changing.
And I thought that was so smart.
Yeah, so a part of what we're doing is we're rebranding the Girl Cave stores to Hype Hair stores so we can expand across the country. Girl Cave has its imprint in Southern California, but it's my goal to make it a national brand. And with that, we got to piggyback off of the Hype Hair name. So Hype Hair is taking over the existing Girl Cave stores. And so you'll see our Century store has already changed. Next is our Inglewood store, then our Anaheim store. So we're not just doing it all at once, but you'll see the rollout of the stores changing from Girl Cave to Hyper. And then you'll see other locations opening. I don't want to say this in front of my fiance because he'd be like, don't open another store. But we're working on opening some stores on the East Coast right now.
Love it. And being a senior publicist previously, the rollout is so important with the rollout because it's the messaging, it's the community, it's the product, it's everything all in one. You being the face of then Girl Cave, Hype Hair, the entire brand of Hype Hair, do you ever feel any pressure?
Every day. I got people to pay, so that's the first pressure. I'm an employer first.
Say you're not a boss until you pass out the W-2.
And then I got landlords, I have vendors, so yeah, there's pressure. Like it's still a business, right? It's a fun business, and we take photos and we create content. But the truth is, I still have bills to pay. So that's the first pressure I feel. And then there's a pressure to stay authentic to myself, right? Like I don't want to get caught up in trying to like chase opportunities that Hype Hair loses its voice again. So, making sure we have the right advertisers, making sure we're producing the right content, making sure we're producing realistic content. I'm always asking the people around me, like, does this make sense to you guys? Like, does this feel good? Like, we just did a shoot with Cash Doll. And the first thing I asked is when the images came out, I asked my team, like, do these feel right to you? They feel good to you? Like, I'm always like questioning that because I know so many people are gonna see it. I don't wanna put out something that doesn't feel right.
It goes back to your core values that you spoke about. These are the rules of my Girl Cave.
For sure. And like even, I was thinking about it, like even the editing, right? Like I am so weird about the editing because I don't want some girl in the middle of the country to pick up this magazine and be like, who is that? I can't look like that. So we have changed the edits like 3 times on Cash Doll's photos because I want them to look so much like her that people are not questioning that look. And we know what that look looks like, right? On Instagram, like, you're like, how does her body look like that? Girl, that's not real. So don't even think it's
The
real.
same formula.
Yeah, so that's another thing that I struggle with. Like, we want to stay like relevant and we want to stay cool and trending, but I also don't want to get so far away from reality that it's not attainable to our subscribers. And they feel lost in trying to keep up with that. That's not cool.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because especially we have a lot of small businesses here, and I myself, being a salon, 2-time salon owner now,
Sounds smart.
and author. When it comes to, like you said, building partnerships and going and maybe getting acquired in different, opportunities. It seems like a catch-22 when it comes to you want to build and you want to become mainstream, but you also want to be authentic. And I feel like it's always a struggle for us as Black small businesses more so than it is for our other counterparts.
Well, I think it's because we're held to a different standard. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, leading with being a Black-owned business is not the easiest thing. So you have an obligation to your customers, right? Because when you say Black-owned, we expect a lot. Like, girl, don't let me come to the store and you don't have this, and that, especially when you're saying you Black-owned. And then my vendors are looking at me too, like, okay, you're Black-owned, but we're not giving you any handouts. You got the same terms, you have the same pricing as everyone else. So I think that's a big question. Like, literally, we got a whole panel about that.
No, it's hard because I think one of the case studies, most recently, I think was Miel, right?
Yes.
Miel. She was acquired.
Right.
And you have some people on one end that were like, go girl, and others are, oh, sell out.
Like you're a sellout, right?
Yeah, so it's like, how do we grow, but also stay authentic?
I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you, because I'm building my business, obviously, because I'm a business owner. So if Time Magazine comes to me and says 500 million, I'm not telling Time Magazine no, right? But also too, I feel like if I were to sell my magazine for a large sum, I would want to still be a part of the vision. So I would carve out a space in that for me to still be able to be on the board. I think what happens is that when we sell our businesses, we lose our voice too. You can't do both. So if you take the check, you still have to have a foot in the door to be able to have input. And I think Monique, right? That's her name? Monique?
Yes.
I think she's done a great job of doing that. She took the check, but she still has an imprint on her brand. You can't be mad at that. She didn't create the business not to make money. That's why she started the business. So kudos to her for being able to make 8 figures, 9 figures. Well, I don't know how much she's made. For sure, 8 figures in this hair care company. But kudos to her for still having a pulse on it and still being able to navigate being the face of it. So I think you have to do both. You can't like do one and not the other.
I have a question.
Absolutely. I'm gonna open it up for questions. This is the last thing I wanted to ask you. What advice, because we do have stylists in here and barbers in here, what advice would you give them if they are trying to expand their brand outside of the chair and want to network with publications, be on sets, celebrities, all those things? What advice would you give?
Well, I work with a lot of stylists on set, and I think the thing is to stay consistent, right? So I only work with stylists that I know I can call and are going to show up for me. So the first thing is consistency. You can't do a great job on one shoot and then I can't find you for a month. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be consistent. You have to stay relevant. And I think that's it. If you do a good job and you're consistent at it, you're going to stay booked. Like I know for a fact that the stylists that I work with, if I call them right now and I say I have a shoot next week, they're gonna do it. And so they stay booked regularly and they're the first ones I call. So if you wanna stay in this game, I think part of why Hype Hair has been able to stay around is because it's been consistent. Like no matter what owner it's gone through, from me to the previous owner, there still was a publication, no matter how small it was. Hype Hair came out with something regularly. And so it stayed on the minds of people, and so you stay consistent. And that's the best advice I can give. Just keep doing it at the best quality that you can.
And I'm really happy to witness what you're doing just firsthand with Hype Hair, and I'm just really excited to see everything that you do and what everyone else is able to see what you, as Leah, does as the businesswoman in Hype Hair, the brand. I'm excited. So we're gonna open up to 2 questions because I think we're on a timeline. If you guys, no.
Because I'm an agent. I represent Nina J, Kim Pimple, Nico.
Yeah,
that's right.
So what I would tell these people in here, as an Afro-American woman, we have to get out of that myth where we're judged so hard, this or that. Just be etiquette in a lady. See, I'm an agent. I can say all the crazy things to a manager. When I fought for my clients to get on a movie set, we are in a space in Los Angeles where the women, especially black people, get on a set. I watched Kim get called names back in the days when she did bad. Today, we are stronger as men and I.
Out of the chair and expand. Own a magazine, own a beauty spot, like whatever, speak on a panel, like whatever you need to do to showcase and really step into your purpose. So I want to close it off with you saying, what is your superpower and your Instagram and what you have come up next?
Honestly, I know my superpower. I'm underestimated. People don't think it. So I've literally
This is the year of the underdog.
Yeah, but literally everything that I've done is because people don't think I can. And so I actually like it that way. Like I like people to not think or suspect. And part of like my look is that way too. Like if you see, like I don't really come into spaces like too turned up. Like I come in like this because I don't want people to like count me out. I want you to underestimate me so I can come in and like kick down the door. So never in a million years did I think that Burlington Coat Factory would say yes to me. I literally did a video with a similar jacket on like this, and I just spoke to them authentically. Like I just spoke, listen, I'm Leah, I'm from Inglewood, this is my brand, you're gonna like it, you're gonna love it. And they loved it. Same thing, I got a pitch coming up with Walmart. And they were like, what are you gonna wear? I don't know, I'm gonna be myself though.
Showing up as you would just
I'm gonna
be.
just be like super myself. So I think my superpower is just being underestimated, people not suspecting it. I get so many more places that way, for sure. Unassuming.
And so where can everyone follow you, and any shameless plugs you want to throw out?
Yes, okay, so Hype Hair Magazine, 33 years, black hair care. We can be found in Burlington Coat Factories, Nordstrom's Racks, very soon other big box retailers. Girl Cave LA, we have 4 locations. We are in South Los Angeles, we are in Inglewood, we're in Orange County, Anaheim, and then we have I call it my Inglewood Set 2 location, but it's really like airport adjacent. So you can find us on hypehair.com. You can subscribe for free. I recently made all of our subscriptions free because I want people just to see the magazine. So you can subscribe to Hype Hair on our website for free. What else? I feel like I'm missing something. Hype Hair Mag, Girl Cave LA, Conair. Yeah, that's it. Oh. And I recently got engaged, so I'm turned up. My personal Instagram is turned up right now. Yeah, we see you shining. You kept doing this. I'm like, what is she talking about?
I don't want to be discreet. Well, again, thank you so much, Leah. Your personality, your aura, your glow, everything about you. And I'm so excited to continue to build with you and whatever we got to do to just build this girl power in this industry. Thank you. It's done.